Welcome to Rather Be Rotting, where two sisters who should really be doing something more productive dissect all things reality, TV, and pop culture chaos because no matter what's going on in life, we would always rather be rotting.
Hello. Hi. We're in the same room again.
Not only are we in the same room, we are about a foot apart, if that.
It's very close.
We're cozy. You call it close, I call it cozy.
It's a little too cozy.
Which is how I love to be.
We had a real rock day today.
We did. We've been in New Jersey. Last time we caught up in this fashion, we were having a rot day, and here we are having another one, but it hasn't been all rotting.
No, we saw some shows.
What'd
you think?
Well, Oh Mary, incredible, with Titus Burgess.
Yeah, so good.
Everything to me, every little facial expression just killed me. And then we saw Death Becomes Her.
We saw that last night, and that was good too.
I give that like a 10 out of 10 too. I give them both a 10 out of 10. I was fully entertained.
I give Death Becomes Her a 9 out of 10.
And what do you give Oh Mary?
10 out of 10.
Okay. Why 9?
Because at times I felt that their voices were a little bit shrill.
Eek.
Yeah, that's just how I felt.
I enjoyed. I can see what you're saying, but it didn't take anything away from me. I thought the sparkles, the spectacle, the music, the jokes were super funny. The acting was phenomenal. You know?
Yeah.
I have no notes. We also went to the Museum of Natural History, which was super cool.
We saw most of it, considering it's massive.
It's huge. It's 5 floors.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I loved it, though. I would go back. I've overall had a great time here on the East Coast, and I'm going to be sad to leave and be doing this on the Zoom next time.
You could just move here.
You know, never say never.
Woo.
As Justin Bieber once said.
What else is going on in pop culture?
You know, we have the unfortunate verdict in the Diddy trial, which, you know, obviously neither of us have done any research.
But we're disappointed, obviously.
We're disappointed in the verdict.
Because he's a monster.
Yes. I knew the racketeering charge was going to be tough. But, you know, the trafficking of Cassie, I thought for sure they would get him on. But here we are. And he's probably going to go free sooner rather than later. But, you know,
just very upsetting.
If we can see him with his gray hair, like at least that's something.
I just don't want to see him ever again anymore.
I know. Hopefully his legacy is tarnished, but America has such a quick, you know, a short-term memory that, you know, look at Chris Brown.
I still don't listen to Chris Brown.
I know what people do. He sells that. Look at Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, I mean, I never listened and didn't start, so.
But he's very successful and very rich.
I mean, we could get into the problems with this country if you want.
That's not the kind of podcast.
Or we could pivot.
Let's talk about Katy Perry.
Just that there were tears.
I feel so bad for her because seeing her crying on stage in Australia took me right back to her Part of Me tour and the movie, the behind the scenes movie. Do you remember that?
Was it called A Part of Me? Obviously, I remember it, but
I think so. And she was going through the breakup with Russell Brand at the time, and she was getting her makeup done to go on stage, and she could not stop sobbing.
Yes, we all recall that.
And then she finally does, and she's like ready to go up, and she's still sobbing. And it just took me right back, like, to know that she's going through that again. It breaks my heart for her.
You know, I feel bad for her, but I do feel as though she's done this to herself a little bit because, as I've mentioned to you before, he got the ick. Perhaps she shouldn't have gone up into space. Perhaps she shouldn't have had such a cringe tour. How do you not get the ick?
She's done much worse.
It all started with the blonde pixie cut.
The blonde pixie cut, if that wasn't enough to scare him away.
I think the space shuttle was the straw that broke the camel's back.
I just feel bad for her. I feel bad for Daisy because Orlando's just living his best life while she's just trying to keep it together and do her damn job. What is he doing? He barely works. The man barely works.
He doesn't need to. He has the Lord of the Rings money and the Pirates of the Caribbean money. He's fine.
I don't know, man. Anyway, we want to just like send our thoughts and prayers to Katy at this time.
Sure.
Anything else going on?
No, that I know of. It's been kind of a slow week.
I mean, it is a holiday week.
It is.
But our Bravo shows did not sleep for the holiday. They
No, we
They're
had
full
it.
on.
We had an Atlanta finale.
That is so upsetting.
It came upon us so quickly.
Can I just say that we're talking about Atlanta, Real Housewives of Atlanta. I hate to see therapy appointments on my reality shows.
You
I hate
do?
when Jax does it. I hate when Erica does it. It's boring. And it's like, I already go to therapy once a week, and it's not something that I look forward to necessarily at all. And, it's an hour of my time that I'm not doing what I want. I don't want to spend any extra time going to someone else's therapy.
Well, I don't mind it, but my takeaway is that
therapist should have her license revoked.
Yes, because you can't, if you're not doing couples therapy together, you can't treat two people that are married. That's a conflict of interest.
100%. And it's like, if Charles cheats and he tells the therapist, who also sees Angela.
So she should be fired, that Wendy, that kook.
Yeah, she should. And then I just feel bad for Angela because the houses.
Yeah.
And she said like that she should have listened to Charles because he told her not to do it, which kind of makes me sad because like he should be supporting her dreams, but at the same time he was right. So I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, he hates her, so that's the takeaway. R.I.P. to Portia's cousin Londi. I didn't watch any of Portia's spinoffs, but
I was going to ask you about that.
I guess she was featured heavily, and I've searched the internet far and wide for a cause of death and haven't gotten one.
As have I.
You know how I feel about that.
It's the grim reality of how we live life.
It just...
I need to know.
Thoughts and prayers, but like if
we need
to know. It's my biggest pet peeve when people die and we're not told how. I hate that.
Which it's none of our business.
But I need to know.
Even like with real people, it's none of our business. And we know that.
I went to high school with that have passed, and I still don't know how, and it haunts me daily.
But again, it's not your business.
I realize that, but also I need to know for my mental health.
Yes, we realize it's not our business, but we still need to know.
Yeah.
So this episode also gave us a performance from Shamia. So you watched last season. Whose performance was better? Shamia's this season or Drew's last season at the reunion?
Better. Shamia, there was more theatrics, outfit changes, variety.
6 outfit changes if we count the outfit she wore after the show to greet the girls. I was impressed by that.
And I just don't like Drew, so even if she's a decent singer, I just don't want to watch her sing.
Yeah. And Shimmy is so likable. And she's
so likable.
She had different props for every song.
Yeah.
She even was behind a piano at one point. Unclear if she was playing.
Probably sure she was.
She wasn't.
I'm sure she was. Even my husband can tickle the ivories a little bit.
But can you?
I can play the beginning of Seasons of Love from Rent. So
your CC is
my can popped.
We are enjoying full fat CCs because, as we mentioned last week,
Cherry Cokes.
She didn't buy Cherry Coke Zero, and she's had a week to buy more, and she still hasn't. So
can't and won't.
It's full fat all the way.
So my big question here with Atlanta's finale is obviously the weird revelation that allegedly Phaedra was behind the leaking of this cheating allegation to this random man. Do you think it was Phaedra?
No.
Who do you think it was?
I think it was the producers.
Oh.
Yes. Or I think it was Angela because she was unsure of, her fate for the next season, like how she was going to be received. So she just wanted to make sure it was a slam dunk.
Interesting.
Because it's her first season and she actually is a fan favorite. She's doing the most. She's doing amazing. But, in the moment, I don't know if she knew that she was doing amazing because you never know how you're going to be received. So, and there's been many tales of the housewives thinking they're going to be received well and then they're not. So I think she just wanted to make sure that, that she it was like reassurance that she was going to be in next season. So she orchestrated the whole thing. That's my opinion. Who do you think it was?
Oh, definitely not Phaedra.
No.
Phaedra doesn't even know who they are.
But what I wouldn't give for Phaedra to do something, anything.
I mean, she gave us enough by saying that Angela is the oldest looking young person she's ever met.
I wanted her to get in the mess.
She'll get in the mess next season.
I know it was hard, but for her to do it in her short time. So who do you think it was?
I mean, your theory makes sense. It could also be Britt. I just hate Brit. Thank God we'll never see her again.
I know, but I wanted her at the finale at least.
You mean the reunion?
Yes, the reunion at least.
Where do you stand on the Brit versus Kelly argument?
I mean, they were both like being pretty nasty, calling each other pill poppers, streetwalkers.
We didn't even touch on the abortion comment last week.
I know.
Brit
said it about Kelly.
Yeah.
And then
Can't say that.
Someone also accused Shamia of like just going to Miami when her daughter was sick or something.
Yeah.
So also the part about how Brit insisted that Shamia showed her text messages.
Oh, yeah.
Was it from Portia?
Yeah, but I don't think...
Like explaining why she didn't like her?
Yeah.
And Brit insists that she saw the text. Shamia insists that there were no texts.
I don't think there were texts.
So what I think is maybe, Shamia had a little too much to drink when they were out and said a little bit too much. And then I think she maybe gave an indication of like, look, this is one annoying text. And then Brit exaggerated.
That's very possible.
So anyway, how did we feel about Angela's gala?
I don't know. I felt like the room looked a little empty, personally. The tables looked awfully spread out.
I know, and I feel like they had a fundraising goal of $50,000, but it seems like that she spent that on the gala.
Did they reach the goal? Did they say? I didn't even notice.
I didn't follow up.
Huh.
But I will say the whole Marcus situation, I feel like it's a little too late in the season to introduce that.
I agree.
Because it's like we're not going to get invested because we know that it's, we don't have enough time.
We also know that they're going to break up. So
they're not going to. Did you see her screaming at him though when he was trying to kick Marcus out and Angela wanted Marcus to stay and she was screaming at him and people were looking
because he hates her guts.
I did enjoy it. Whether or not he hates her or not, I don't know. I mean, they were in the confessionals together. He's going to be at the reunion. As he said, he's the only husband at the reunion.
We shall see.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm sad we got here so quickly.
Me too.
I'm sad that my New Jersey trip is almost over. Like things, we love are fleeting. So
time just passes.
We have to remember.
Lucky for you, you have all of the history of Atlanta to go back to.
Someday. So you want to move on to Miami? I don't really have any other thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay, so Miami, we have a new housewife. What do you think?
She reminded me of you if you were rich.
Why? Because she doesn't want kids?
Bottles and Birkins don't go together. Boogers and Birkins don't go together.
And we know I have so many Birkins.
That's why I said if you were rich.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So she says she's like super busy, too busy to have a kid, but what is she busy doing?
Not sure. I didn't catch what her actual job is.
Unclear. I know that her husband does something with properties.
He seems old.
And rich.
Yeah.
And I feel like she was coming in hot with Alexis asking her about Todd.
That was weird.
I also feel like she looked better in flashbacks when she had blonde hair.
Oh my God, I thought the same thing. And with like longer hair, I was like, you need that haircut. The flippy 50s haircut is not doing it.
It's awful.
It's bad for her. It's bad.
Maybe for like one confessional look.
She's got a face that needs longer hair.
And blonde. I liked the blonde.
I don't mind the brown, but it just has to be longer.
Yeah, it's just like you said, it's not flattering to her face.
No.
So hopefully at the reunion, we see a little bit longer. I feel like not much happened this episode. We got the baby shower.
Well, we got the baby shower. We got Lisa sending a picture of her dad in a casket to Larsa, which was wild.
Did that really happen?
Yes. They blurred the picture out.
Yeah, I mean, that's only something that would happen on Housewives.
That was so crazy.
That should have happened on Salt Lake when there was confusion about the timeline of Meredith's father's funeral.
Yeah.
If she had just taken a picture of her father in the casket,
a throwback. That was a time. We had Alexia trying to bridesmaids Adriana, who threw the baby shower. That was very odd.
Yeah, what was that about? Do they have like history?
They just like are not on the best of terms at this time.
It doesn't seem like Adriana is on the best of terms with anyone.
She struggles.
Also, why were they talking into a microphone when it was literally just a table of just them?
I also was wondering that exact thing.
At first, I thought it was to the whole room and it made sense. And then I realized this is a baby shower of like 8.
Yeah, it was very odd. And Martina did not try to dress up even a little bit.
What was she wearing? Remind me.
Jeans and a button up. Not even tucked in, not a belt, not an accessory. Could have thrown a blazer on. Like, we could have done something.
I wonder what she wore to their wedding. Are they married?
Yeah. My other takeaway from in Miami is just like the more I look at Larsa, and I know that she's been with me for a while, but it's just like her face. I feel uncomfortable for her face. I feel like, because I think a lot about her face when we first met her to what it is now. And it just seems like she can't really move it because there's so much puffy filler, especially like cheeks up to the temple. Like she can't move her eyes. It's just, it looks uncomfortable.
I doubt it feels uncomfortable, but I do think it's going to migrate at some point.
I think it already starting to. It doesn't look good.
The thing about, and sometimes like when you see people on TV or with makeup, they look okay. But if you look at them up close, you can see the lumps and bumps.
So that's my other takeaway.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. My prediction is at some point along the road, she's going to get her filler dissolved.
I don't think she will. I think she'll be like Marisol's mom. May she rest. I think we're headed down that path.
She's like too vain and too pretty for that. And I think that at some point someone will tell her there's a better path.
We should hope.
What about the Valley? I loved the proposal. I thought it was perfect for Kristen.
I teared up a little bit.
Really?
Yes, because they really surprised her and she was so excited to see the dolphins. And then, I just loved it.
Even our mom loved it. And she was here last week. We miss her terribly. But yeah, she loved the proposal too.
She loves love. Okay, so here are my thoughts.
On the Val?
Yeah.
We're on the Valley.
When Aaron was at the dinner, this is Michelle's boyfriend. Mm-hmm. He had Ramona eyes. I was very distracted by his Ramona eyes. And I'm like, this man is not attractive in the slightest. I'm so sorry. He's just not.
Oh my God. I don't think he's unattractive.
Okay. Well, I do. I'm going to say something that could be taken the wrong way.
He's no Jesse.
So just like bear with me.
Oh boy.
But I appreciate Kristen's body because it makes me feel normal. I appreciate that she and like Brittany are on TV with normal bodies.
Normal.
And I just,
I like that too. I like that too, actually.
Because, Kristen just is average, but like,
and so is Brittany.
She had like a little bit of a belly pooch situation because she probably had breakfast. Yeah. Like who hasn't? Who amongst?
Yeah.
But she just like lives her life. And to me, I'm just like, I don't know why I worry so much. Why do I worry so much?
Yeah, these impossible standards that just consume us.
So yeah, that just was a takeaway that I had.
Too. Yeah.
And I also just, every time I see Brittany in that one confessional look, I feel like her boobs look so painful.
They do.
So painful.
When she's wearing the leopard dress.
Yeah. They're just, and like the yellow flower dress.
Oh yeah.
They just sit like a shelf.
Yeah. You can
of swollen top. Pain.
And Jax did that to her. But
I have written here in all caps, stop giving Jax airtime.
He barely got any.
It's still too much. And yet it's still too much.
He was playing with little...
He was tossing his child in the water and walking away. Great dad move.
He was like cuddling with him at some point.
At some points.
And I mean, this was all when the camera was rolling.
Precisely. I did think proposing on a fishing boat was an odd choice. I would have said no.
But it was the best way to surprise her. They didn't actually fish.
Yes, they did.
Oh, they did. That's right. That sucked.
The problem is you don't get cute to go on a fishing boat. Well, and she did not.
But she looked cute enough.
She looks cute enough, but also like you're hot, you're sweaty. Like, do you really feel that that's a good idea? This is just a typical man who clearly didn't run it by anybody.
Boats are tough. He did run it by Nia and Danny.
Well, they should have said no. She's not going to look cute. Nobody looks cute on a fishing boat.
I know. Even like on a regular boat, like
perhaps a yacht
or like a sunset, like a booze cruise.
Yeah,
would have been better. But then everyone would have had to be invited.
How did you feel about Janet basically saying we need to bow out of all of the activities here on now on this trip? Like an over dramatic.
I think that let's take it one day at a time.
She just needs
to sleep on it, and then tomorrow she'll be back.
I'm sorry, I hate her guts.
I mean, she's not great.
I can't fucking stand her.
And Jason is activated this season. Like, I don't know what
The
what
two of
Kool-Aid,
them.
what Kool-Aid she gave him.
They need to go. I'm done
Well, then
with
what do
them.
we have? We don't have a show if we don't have them. They're doing the work. You have to admit. It's like Lisa Rinna. We don't like her, but we need her, and we miss her terribly. Do you want
miss her?
Janet to leave, and then we'll have nothing? If Jax and Janet leave, Lil, we will have nothing.
Oh, yes.
Unless Sheena and Lala have a bigger role. Did you see Sheena's coming out with an autobiography? Guess what it's called?
Good as gold.
No.
It's all happening.
That would have been mine, but no, My Good Side or something.
What the hell is she even
Or
gonna
No
write
Bad
about?
Side or something.
What does she have to say?
Well, she's been talking about her affair with Eddie Cibrian.
Who even cares about that?
Which I did not click on that headline. Something about how she didn't see any red flags. Okay.
I will be reading that.
I won't either.
I did think that their sushi dinner, back to the valley, looked delicious. There was sushi on a bridge on the table.
Aha. You can get that at Yamashiro in LA.
I wanted it.
And then that's when Aaron and Jesse became pals.
They're friends now.
Which is a twist I did not see coming.
So cute. Happy for them.
I mean, they have to be friends, but the problem is he still hates Michelle. And if he talks bad about her, Aaron's gonna be right back where they started.
Aaron said that there was nothing inappropriate while they were married. Do you believe it?
No.
Me neither. Not for a second.
I mean, he said what he had to say.
Yeah. That's really how I feel about the valley.
Yeah, the Bravo verse, didn't give us that much this week. We did get a finale, but other than that, I think the Miami episode was kind of a filler ep, like an in-between ep.
Yeah.
And honestly, even the Valley, like the engagement was great.
We've been waiting for it.
Yeah, you care more about that kind of stuff than I do. That's for sure. I just want mess.
Okay, well, I'm sure we'll get more next week.
You know where we got a lot of mess?
90 Day.
Never not.
I just can't look at a Minnie's face any longer.
Well, we don't have to.
I wish that...
Because the reunion was only 2 parts. Thank you, Matt Sharp.
Thank you, Matt Sharp. Do you think she could go back and, undo everything? Is there an undo button?
No.
On that face?
No.
That's really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. I will say, stuff like that can be traumatizing, I'm sure, to look in the mirror and not recognize yourself.
So part 2, we get...
The throuple.
We get more of the throuple. Do you think that Ani is scamming?
I mean, yeah, also, what is Annie doing with the money that she makes at the club?
That's a great question. And I also don't, when she went in on Juan saying, I make more than you. I know how much you make on the cruise. It's then why do you need all this money from them then?
Someone should have chimed in and asked that.
It's very confusing.
I also thought it was weird that they said Matt and Annie have sex without Ameni, but Ameni and Ani never have sex without Matt.
That is weird. And at this point, I hope she is scamming them because they're terrible people.
Yeah, I mean, if they're stupid enough.
Yeah.
I chortled when Shekinah called Ameni Armani.
I did too. And then we got the clarification we so desperately needed.
What was the verdict?
Ameni.
Ameni, that's right. But Matt calls her Amani.
Hence why we needed the clarification.
That guy is so dumb. When Sarper and Shekinah, when Sarper was giving Shekinah the ring, Matt was like, I can see it. I can see this relationship. This is real love right here. I'm like, dude, you don't even know what you...
First of all, it is.
You don't even know which way is left.
Matt, formerly known as Hudson, which is also crazy because when they're talking about who's all strippers before, Mina, shockingly...
Divine, a.k.a.
Divine. Ameni jumps in and says that Matt was one, which is so ironic because she was going off about how terrible Ani is for being a stripper and how she would never do that.
Well, now Hudson has a family and stuff. So I think that's what she means is he's an adult. What he did when he was 21. Channing Tatum was a stripper when he was
hypocrite.
Younger.
She's a hypocrite. And she said terrible, terrible things.
Yeah.
And she's a terrible person.
As Sean pointed out, Sean and Aaliyah, not Sean the host, because Sean the host doesn't point anything out.
She doesn't.
Sean and Aaliyah said, when you said you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, that's when you lost me.
Yeah, well.
Sean doesn't. What was the clip that Sean was watching that we swore she was watching for the first time?
Every clip?
That's
Every single one?
I think it was the Sean and Aaliyah, her being late to the wedding.
Maybe.
After that clip was done, Sean, the host, goes, wow. Like, she really had never seen it. Like, she was taking it all in.
So we get some Mark and just to recap on Mark and Mina, not a lot there. They're very happy. They haven't seen Clayton in 11 months, which is devastating.
Devastating. And Jordan was there. She looked amazing.
Her dress, I want to know where she got it.
Her dress, her hair, her makeup, flawless. And honestly, I can see her side when it comes to first impressions. Like,
yeah,
if your dad was having a baby at his age,
I'd be like, no, you're not.
Like, if we had a sibling that was little, like, we would have the same reaction.
Totally.
And we would not trust that woman at all.
But I might not say it in front of a camera.
No.
You know?
But
I might keep that as an
inside
inside
But I do feel
thought.
like we would maybe have a confrontation with him.
Maybe.
Pops, what the hell are you doing?
Maybe.
So, but once she came around and she saw that it was real love,
they seem to be...
It all seems pretty normal. And I did see that they are in Venice right now with Clayton.
Oh, thank G.
But in May, Mark posted that they were still working on it.
Oh, we got to get Clayton to the U.S.
So as of May, they were still working on it. They can travel together in Venice. So at least they're together now. But I don't know when this trip is over, what the next steps are.
That was it for them.
The Sarper and Shekinah moment, it was weird how it came in the middle of the segments that weren't about them.
The ring?
Yeah.
Well, duh. That's what they do.
Do you think they edited it like that?
I just think this is who they are.
Did you like the ring?
Yeah, it was pretty.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Did you like Sarper's comedy?
You know, I can't say that I did. I can't say that he got any chuckles out of me.
I thought it left much to be desired.
I can't say that he's improved.
No.
Unfortunately.
Honestly, I feel like this was worse. He's getting worse.
It's not great.
He should get tips from Clayton, 90 Day Fiancé
guinea pig
alum.
Clayton. Yeah.
Who's doing stand-up, and I thought did a pretty decent job. Are we getting him on Happily Ever After?
No. We're getting Kara and Guillermo, though. I haven't seen them in a while.
I want Clayton with the guinea pigs.
I can't help you with that.
I want to follow his comedy routine. Or his comedy career. I want to see where it goes.
Sarper got some laughs from Greg. Probably to be polite.
He got some polite chuckles from everyone. Stevie.
Yeah.
Amani.
They also brought in Danielle, who I can't stand.
Who is this woman?
She's from, I guess they were originally on Love in Paradise, but then I know her from The Other Way, where she lived in the DR with her husband, who's a piece of shit. Her? Because she owes the state of New York like 30 grand in back taxes and ran out to the DR. She's like a super know-it-all who's just terrible. She's just terrible.
With a tattoo right between her breastises.
Yep.
How shocking.
Yep.
So what did you think about Juan and Jessica's segment? That's when Danielle was brought out.
I don't know why. I feel like bringing her out for that is a stretch. I think it was kind of crazy to hear Juan say, like, I'm only not taking cruise jobs from my kid. Like,
yeah, he said that the only thing.
That's a little rough.
It was crushing. The only reason I'm here is because of my child. If I were Jessica, I would be crushed.
Yeah, and also the fact that I think he probably is just turning down every single job because he only wants to go back to the cruise.
Yeah, he's waiting 100%. He's super picky. Yeah, because he wants to go on the cruise. Hello? Like, oh.
Yeah.
I thought Megan's sweaty pits were karma for her acting like a demon.
Definitely.
But halfway through the segment, I gotta say, I completely flipped on Megan.
What?
I did.
Why?
To liking her.
How?
Because Stevie pointed out that, like, it's like you guys are sisters. And, if this were my sister, like, if you were my sister and your husband cheated on you, I might cry talking about it too. Like, if they are that close.
I guess.
If they have a sister relationship, I get it a lot more. I feel like I would be that way.
I suppose when you put it that way.
Yeah, we got to give her a little bit more of a break, I think. We're sorry, Megan.
I'm sort of sorry. I still think you're nuts.
I'm sorry that I called you a demon like 60 seconds ago.
I still think you're a little crazy.
You had a problem with Jessica's look.
Yes. So you're going to be on TV, throw some mascara on.
At the very least.
Put some eyeliner on. Try a little. Just a little.
Yeah, it was upsetting.
Just try a little bit.
And her outfit, like her and Danielle were matching. And you see these other girls in gowns. like Ameni and Shekinah in full-on gowns. You see Joan in this beautiful yellow jumpsuit with a statement sleeve, and that's what you're going to wear?
Well, maybe she was just taking a cue from Sean Robinson, who wears business casual outfits every time.
I hadn't noticed because I don't see Sean. Like,
was she even there?
I don't know. she's just,
so
not
what,
the greatest host.
What I thought was interesting was backstage when Maddie got into that fight with Danielle.
Yes.
Kind of, I'm not really sure I followed that.
Why was
fight.
he so activated over that?
My understanding was that it was because Danielle accused Shekinah of paying for interviews or followers or something, and I guess liars really triggers Maddie, and
even though his wife has obviously lied to him.
I'm not sure where that all came from.
Yeah, I don't know why he got activated over that.
Couldn't tell you.
That's just going to have to be one of life's great mysteries. We're not going to solve that today, but we wish them
we wish them the best.
Finally, we had dear Sean and Aaliyah.
They brought in Kenny and Armando. Love them. They really didn't give a lot. They didn't say a lot, but I love seeing them. And Sean gave us a great fake out at the beginning, thinking he was going to walk off. Oh, my
God. I could not believe. He did it. That was great. I loved it.
To fix Maddie's hair. It was great.
I loved it. We got the revelation that he left her, like, to go on a trip, the honeymoon alone, allegedly.
It's not a honeymoon if you're alone. It's just a trip.
Whatever it was, he took off after their wedding. And you know what? I don't blame him. I would be so mad. I would want to take off too.
And we got the return of Jackie. Speaking of not trying, homegirl was in jeans or slacks or leggings.
I wish
a horrid purple sweater and sneakers.
Are you sure it was sneaks?
Yes.
I don't want to fall asleep.
Colorful sneakers. I'll never forget
children's?
Yeah.
Jackie, and they gave it to her, and they should have. Jackie, what is your excuse?
She didn't have a good one.
Like, she said she was trying to keep her on time. She wasn't.
No, we all
saw the tape of you cackling. Like, you thought it was just so funny. And then even Aaliyah's excuse was kind of just like, I just didn't know. I was frozen when I found out about your mom. I didn't have my phone with me. Like,
yeah, I feel like we really still didn't get to the bottom of this, of like why this occurred.
I think that she was just oblivious.
Yeah,
truly. And she said she didn't have her phone with her. And it's like, do you not understand? Like if I'm in there for a while, I would think, hey, I've been in this bathroom for a while. I better check to see what time it is.
You would think. One would think.
And Sean, did you see Sean apologized? I don't think he should have.
I thought it was nice.
He has nothing to be sorry about.
You have to move on.
But do you have to apologize when you don't have anything to be sorry about?
I don't know. I think just to move on.
I think just moving on and forgiving her is enough.
I think the bottom line of this couple is, because they got into a lot of like, are you attracted to her physically? And how often have you guys been intimate? And I think the main takeaway here is like, he's obviously into dudes, which she no longer is. So the physical intimacy is not going to be present anymore. Like, he was very open about the fact that it was an open marriage. He's been with other people. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're going to stay together, at least living together in some fashion. And I think that it works for them. And
I think they really do love each other.
Definitely.
That note that she wrote him was beautiful.
Very sweet. Very sweet.
It's just sad because she needs to be who she is. And that is doing so, it means she's not going to have that type of relationship with Sean.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I think their relationship is really beautiful, whatever it is.
I do too.
I've come to that conclusion.
I'm aligned.
But she still did him dirty at the wedding. And
absolutely.
People don't forget.
No excuse.
Other than that, I thought it was a pretty fine tell-all. They all went on their merry ways.
What I thought was so funny, it was at the end when Matt and Amini are just like begging anyone to go to dinner with them and nobody wants to.
Oh, yeah.
They're just like so desperate. They're like asking Sarper and Shekinah to go to dinner. Like, that's ever going to happen? They're so desperate.
And they like stayed in their reunion clothes long after everyone else had changed.
Just jammies and sweats and etc. Like, they're just too try hard.
I'm excited for Happily Ever After. A little bit.
Are we going to get any of these couples?
I wish we would get George.
George? Who on earth?
Who was I thinking of?
I think you mean Joan and Greg.
That's kind of a combination of their names in a way.
Kind of. I fear we'll get Sarper and Shekinah. Perhaps, though, we'll get them on last resort.
I enjoyed them when we had them, but I don't need them anymore.
I do think her work looks better than it did before.
A little better.
That's just my feeling.
Like 2% better. What else you got? I think that
it's just been like slow lately.
Well, things are going to pick up because we're going to get Big Brother.
Oh, when does that start?
I believe it's this next week.
We're going to have 10th. So much to talk about because that's on like 3 times a week.
I know, just like Love Island. And I feel like the Love Islanders are not going to be able to watch Big Brother.
Oh, no. They're separate audiences.
They couldn't even if they wanted to because there's no time. And then we have Happily Ever After starting at the end of the month.
Great.
And then Orange County is coming back at some point because we got a trailer.
I haven't seen it. Is it good?
Yes. I'm trying to remember it. It came out so long ago.
I did see the trailer. You're right. It's coming back to me because of the Gretchen of it
Gretchen and Slade. We saw them both. I am so excited to have Slade Smiley back in my life.
Your obsession with Slade is disgusting.
I mean, I'm not proud of it. I know he's a bad man. I feel
he's so slimy.
I mean, the shit he did to Vicky and Tamara. The names he called them, the disrespect is truly appalling. And I don't, like I said, I'm not proud that I'm riveted. He's hot and he makes good TV. The man makes good TV.
We can agree to disagree.
And we'll see. We'll see if he's changed with his salt and pepper hair. If he's gained any more wisdom over the years.
Perhaps. The Gilded Age is still amazing. Not much to say about the second episode other than I liked it a lot. And anybody who watches Downton Abbey would like it. So
I just thought of something we should do when we're done.
What?
We should watch the newest episode of And Just Like That just dropped.
I'm going to pass on that. But I'm also behind on Hunt for Love. Would you like to watch that?
I mean, I would hate that more than you would hate And Just Like That.
I don't think that's true.
And Just Like That is like a wild spectacle to feast your eyes on. It's like, I can't believe I'm watching what I'm seeing.
We're going to have to just rock, paper, scissors, I feel.
Okay, deal. Find out who won next week on Rather Be Rotting.
Thanks everyone for rotting with us. Have a good 4th of July weekend. Be safe. Have a hot dog. Have a hamburger.
I don't want this podcast to end because that means that the next one we're going to have to be apart.
Not forever. I'll be back in LA at some point.
Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Let's not bore our listeners with our tales of travel.
With our schedule.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been fun. Thank you everyone for rotting with us.
TTYL.